Domlin, it's your Wayne. Welcome to the commercial. I'm doing well because I'm having a wonderful day on this 5th June 2025. I am so sorry. The phone it's really warm outside, so the phone closed because it was too warm, and it's always the same bullshit. So this really sucks. I'm gonna do a couple of episodes, and then I'm gonna stop because first of all, well, I need my help. My boy needs me. My friend needs me, right? And he's not answering, but fuck it, because I cannot make videos right now. I cannot. I cannot work. I cannot work right now. So yeah. So what am I supposed to do? And now I have this freezing pack under, but it's taking a lot of space, and it's gonna push the camera down if I don't hold it. So it kind of sucks. Yeah. So like I was saying, they're gonna see tree shrinks. I'm sorry for the multiple part. Fuck. I hate this. I really hate this because it's boring for you guys to have to switch every single time, you know? For the shrink, super entertaining. So they go see. The first thing we do, this is why Kenny vs. Spenny is so good. It's because we see Spenny starting to hate, it's starting to be jealous of Kenny. I don't think it's jealous, I think it's annoyed at Kenny. And he says, he says that Kenny is a narcissistic. He has 9. There's a list of symptoms. If you have 2 of them, there's a list of 9 symptoms. If you have 2 of them or more, you consider narcissistic. There's 9. Spenny enunciates them. He's like, "Oh, this is Kenny. This is Kenny. This is Kenny." So this is kind of funny. He makes Spenny believe that he is gonna be talking about him. So then he goes in, even why it's super funny. Kenny drinks some decaf. He doesn't like caffeine, so he drinks decaf. Kenny switched the decaf for normal coffee. So Spenny comes in all amped up, thinking he's gonna talk about it, and he looks crazy because he's talking about Kenny the whole time. So the first specialist says that Kenny is the sanest. It's really normal. It's your really normal case. The second one is more so of spiritual guide. So he comes in. He asks about yoga. He asks about chakra. And then this one, Spenny is the one. And Spenny is the one. Now it's harder for me to talk about this one because I don't know much about it. And there's even a scene. I don't remember if it's in this one, but Kenny, they're eating in a restaurant and he's throwing knives at Spenny to make him angry. The third one is the wacko. So he asks questions that are like, for example, do you think that farts are funny? Do you have you had sex in a graveyard? Really weird stuff. Because if Kenny and Spenny feel that this is weird, they're gonna be like, okay, well, this is wacko. Because this is wacko, am I able to recognize what's weird and what's not weird? If I'm not able to recognize what's crazy, maybe I'm crazy. And then they both have the same score. But they choose Spenny. Now, there's some interesting insights of the people talking to Kenny. There's a really nice thing that says Kenny is like a log that burns fire and really is entertaining. The problem is that fire needs a log to survive. Spenny is that log. If there's no log, there's no fire, which is why Spenny is saner. Got season 1, episode 7. Who can make the most money in 3 days? This is pretty boring. This is actually really boring. So they have 3 days to make some cash. There's some funny moments. Look about the strategy. Spenny find what he can to do. So, for example, cleaning a warehouse, selling paintings, selling balloons, escort. Yeah, he puts an ad for escort. Then even Kenny. Kenny goes in and it's like, I'm gonna do the less effort. So then Spenny does some painting. They don't sell. It's actually a really cool episode, and this is the second win from Spenny. Spenny comes in and he works really hard. But it doesn't make that much. Like the painting doesn't make money. The roses make not a lot of cash. This escort, he lose a whole night because he was sent on a wild goose chase. Kenny is more so. He puts on some donation bucket that don't work. He puts on some ads. So he calls the family of Spenny and says, "Hey, Spenny is a hooker. He has a really big monetary issues. It's a bit embarrassing, but I'm getting money for him to help him get him out of the streets. So a lot of his family member are what should we call it? A lot of his family member are gonna help Kenny versus helping their cousin Spenny, which is super funny. But the best thing that Kenny does is he has a show and he sells ads. So he sells ads for Mr. Can, which you can buy warehouse boxes of sodas and shit like that. You can also there's also this he sell to a music band, Punkoid, something like that, Purple Zoid, something like that, and he sell to a lawyer. But then Spenny's like, yo, half of the money that you made, this is our show. We're supposed in the contract it states that everything that we do we separate in two. If you make $1, I get 50 cents. That's the contract. So all of his because he used the show, all of his ads, they were giving 50% to Kenny. Kenny was giving 50% to Spenny because it was their show. Now, this is cool because it shows how much power it had, how much influence they had. Like, for example, this is my show. I can do whatever I want, right? Which I really like to see. At the end, Spenny, who's a fucking dumbass, goes to the horse race to make some more money, which is stupid because he could have lost everything, but he ends up winning. So Kenny wins. Spenny wins. And that's basically the episode. Season 1, episode 8. Who does she like better? That's actually one of my favorite episodes. It's really, really good. So they're dating this girl, and she has to choose who's the better guy. They're both singles. They both live together. This is very much, very simple, very effective competition. They both have the same house. They both have the same budget, right? So then what Kenny does is he takes her on a date. And the first time he takes her on a date, he actually really does take her on a date. He goes to the zoo. He goes to the botanic flower shop. He goes to the to sushi place where he shows that he speaks Japanese. Kenny does a lot of joke and he makes her laugh, right? And actually a really good, really good date. They're having fun and she likes him for reals. Now, for the second plan, they have this girl called Eloisa. Eloisa is a friend of Kenny. So they're supposed to meet the person at a certain coffee place. And then, first Spenny. So first I'm going to talk about how they're planning. So they're planning. Spenny wants to cook for her but doesn't know how to cook. He doesn't know how to cook. So it kind of fucks up, right? Then Eloisa, she comes in and she's like, hey, so they go to coffee place. So the first day, the girl, she's late. So Kenny knows that's going to be late the second day. So she comes in late, but first of all, he goes for the wrong girl. And then Kenny puts in a fake Spenny. Fake Spenny who's disgusting, he's dirty. He talks about how his parents divorced. He talks about how our hamster died, something like that. And he talks about how he takes her to a coffee place. And it's like it's the first day, don't expect sushis, which Kenny did sushis. So at the end, there's Eloisa, and this is the first competition ever where there's two endings. So then she goes on a date with a fake Spenny, and then the girl, she's like, hey, I'm sorry, the real girl, she's like, hey, I'm sorry, I chose Kenny, he's more my type, I'm sorry Spenny, good luck. The second one is, it goes to a date. The date is disastrous. So they cook. Spenny doesn't really make an effort. He takes her to get a song from a homeless guy, which is kind of cute. He buys her flower, which is kind of cute. He cooks for her, which is kind of cute. He plays with her dog, which is kind of cute. But at the end, it was always meant to be Kenny that wins. So she said, I'm sorry, Spenny. Kenny is better. He's looking like George Clooney. And then... and that's the funniest thing. So because during the date, but this is the sad part. During the date, she mentioned Kenny. Now Spenny loses it and said, "Oh, all you girls prefer Kenny." There's really some jealousy on Spenny part, and it's unattractive because again, she's like, "Well, are you on a date with me? We're talking about the other guy that I dated." It's kind of weird, right? So this is who does she like better? It's a good episode, not the best, but still good. And the girl, she's really hot. Season 1, episode 9. Who can stay blindfolded the longest? As the competition stay, they wear blindfold for 3 days. Now this is one of the craziest competition ever. We introduced Silencio. We introduced Ben. Ben was a friend of Kenny. So we go in, and they say blindfolded. So the first thing that Kenny does, there's no planning. It's just staying for 3 days and not having vision. And the plan is just to be like, yo, the show is just to be like, okay, well, if you didn't have the sense of vision, what would you do? So they go in for a competition, which goes really well. Then what ends up happening, which is really, really, really cool, is that Kenny take off his blindfold and just fuck with Kenny. It just fuck with Spenny. And he says that's Ben. Ben is my friend, is gonna fuck with you. Ben is not there. It's Kenny that fucks with Spenny. And you see him fuck with Spenny. For example, he'll put Tom Stack on his chair. He'll put some ink on him. He'll put some disgusting food on his food. For example, he puts anchovy paste on his food. There's a lot of things that he does that is super fucking messed up. And he puts in eggs and he cracks the eggs. And then Spenny's like, this is torture, this is torture, this is torture. He goes out. And this is where you don't like Kenny. This is where you don't like Spenny. See, Kenny is an asshole. He's torturing Spenny for the whole time. So you would say, okay, well, Spenny is a good guy. Kenny's an asshole. But not really, because they go out. Spenny goes out, and he goes into the street, and he doesn't see. And then he's asking for help, and nobody's helping him because he looks crazy, because he doesn't have his vision. And he says to people, he seems to people, where's your humanity? Like, they're supposed to help you. They don't owe you shit. They don't owe you shit. You feel superior, but they don't owe you shit. So, long story short, it's just Kenny torturing. It's a really good episode. Really, 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 really funny. And then Kenny, what he does, which is really fucking cool, he's like, well, Spenny, the funniest thing is Spenny, when he puts the mask on, he's actually quite smart. He's like, I'm fucked. I got no way of knowing if your headband is there or if you're really seeing. Yeah, I have no way. There's a famous scene where he put his ass in Spenny's face, which is a classic. But then Spenny realized that there's no way. If I take off my headband to see if you're wearing yours, I lose. So he's fucked. So then Kenny, what he does is he buy a third blindfold, and he puts it somewhere that Spenny's gonna touch. And because Spenny touched the headband, he's gonna be like, yo, I found it. You don't wear your thing. So then he takes it off, and he goes to confronts Kenny, who's still wearing his. Now, technically speaking, this is quote unquote the first that he cheats. We know that he cheated. We know that he didn't have his headbands on. But as long as Penny believed that he is, and this is where the show comes in. Spenny believed that Kenny cheated, but he doesn't have a proof. So Spenny has a humiliation. Kenny, who cheated, who lost, doesn't do the humiliation, feels like he won. And that's pretty much it. Now, give me a sec. I need to check if my friend is online and talk to me. Because if he did, I'm going to have to go. And if he didn't, well, that's tough shit. If I think he's going to text me. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to have to go, guys. My friend is right here. Janice, right? Yep. Give me a sec to be ready. And we're good to go. Sorry, just saw this. Okay, so I'm sorry guys, I have to go because we need to work on my Twitch because my Twitch is not really working well, so I need to fix that. Anyway, we did pretty good. We're at 58%. I'm gonna have time to charge my phone, and we're gonna be working on this, so that's actually pretty good. Anyway, love you guys. Take it easy. Peace.